Don't forget the tissues.
Yep. What's up, guys?
Hello, welcome to Happy Hour.
Good evening.
Amanda, this is Matt.
My name's Matt.
From State... No, you're not from State Farm anymore.
No, not from State Farm anymore.
Alright, so we're doing something a little different.
Mm-hmm. Joining
Obviously,
you from our living room.
We're in our living room. This is our brand new couch that we love. And if you hear anything in the background, it's Loki chewing on...
Loki.
Yeah, just being Loki.
So, sorry to miss you guys last week. We had some stuff going on, as most of you know. That's actually what this episode is about. And so it was just kind of rough for us last week. Dealing with a lot of things. But what was the episode before that?
Religion.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Just kind of our personal views and stuff on it, and how our take, and how it affects our life. So.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
No. So as I'm sure most of you guys who know us or are close to us know, this episode we're going to talk about Thor. He passed last week.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, last Wednesday. So we thought we'd just kind of share with you guys that whole experience, how it went, some memories of him and stuff. So hopefully it helps you guys because, there are fur babies. So.
Yep. They're the only babies we got right now.
Yeah.
But so, I guess we can just, what?
We got Thor when he was 5 months?
He was 4 months old.
4 months old. So he was with us through basically all our growing up together and becoming adults and stuff from our early 20s till now to our early 30s.
That's crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah.
Like, we were babies back then, too.
Yeah.
Babies raising babies. No, I'm just kidding.
We've been 22, 23 years old.
Yeah? I mean, to me, that's a baby still.
No.
I mean, you're still super young.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who or what the hell I was then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, as usual, before we jump in, I got my Facebook Live right here, and then we have Happy Hour's Facebook, and then YouTube's directly in front of us as well. So, stream across the multi-platform like we usually do.
If you want to get a really good video of it, go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's where the HD quality sound, HD quality video is going to be as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Welcome to this episode of Thor. We got him when he was 4 months old.
Yep.
I remember I begged and begged. I was begging Matt for months to get a dog. 4 months.
And I wasn't a dog person at all.
No, he was a cat person.
Yeah.
Which we had a cat. We had August.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted a dog. I love dogs. Everything about dogs, I just love.
Right.
So I begged him for like so many months.
Mm-hmm.
And then
my best friend's parents had just gotten a dog, but he was, based on what Chris had told me, he said that, he was way too energetic for them. They
bouncing all over the place.
Right. They just couldn't handle his kind of energy because they had too many other things going on. And so...
well, wasn't Josh born or something, too? So they had the baby there, and they couldn't do that. I'm pretty sure Josh was around.
Yeah, I think that was the scenario. Yeah.
Chris's brother's son.
Yeah, so their grandkid. So I went over there. Thor was, at that time, his name was Midnight.
Yeah, his name was Midnight. That's so crazy.
But he was a beautiful dog. Really good looking. He was very high energy. Mm-hmm. But he was also really kind and sweet, too.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I called me and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe doing this. And so she came over to...
their parents, Chris's parents' house.
Jim and Jack's house, and of course she immediately fell in love too.
Oh yeah, I got on the floor and he was just like all over me. I'm like, yes, I love you. You're so fluffy and soft, and your ears are just like bouncing everywhere. Oh, he was so cute.
He was adorable.
He was the cutest little puppy.
Yeah.
I'll have to post some pictures because I will.
Mm-hmm. But
anyways, we brought him home.
Yeah, took him home.
We came up with the name before. I thought didn't we come up with the name before we got him?
Yeah, we weren't a fan of Midnight.
We were like going through a whole bunch of names, and Thor just stuck for some reason.
Yeah, I can't even remember why.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Probably because he's just strong. I don't know. Because Thor's not black. I mean, obviously his color's not black, and then his suit's not black either. It's blue, isn't it, or something like that? So I mean, I don't even know why we came up with Thor.
Yeah, it just felt right.
It felt like him.
Yeah.
And he lived up to his name.
Yeah.
He was Thor.
Yeah, definitely.
Thor says.
He was amazing. I'm trying to figure out what. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, when we first found out, we thought we were told that he was Irish setter mixed with lab. Mm-hmm. We'll tell you later what he is, but that's what we thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and anybody that saw him, everybody had their own opinion of what he possibly could be.
Right. I mean, he even looked like because I thought he was an Irish setter, and then I looked at Newfies, and I was like, whoa, he looks like a totally looks like a Newfie.
Right. Yeah, his whole demeanor, I mean, he was definitely a family dog. I mean, he's just had the biggest sense of empathy and feelings.
He loved kids. He was around kids all of his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we never had a problem with our nieces or nephews because they were babies. Mm-hmm. And he would let him lay on them and sit on them and do whatever.
Yeah.
He never barked until we moved into my grandma's house, though. And when he met the mailman.
Not like the mailman.
Yeah.
And he had a thunderous bark, too. I mean, he
did.
He lived up to his name. It was just...
People were scared of him.
Yeah.
He was, like, the sweetest dog ever. Like.
Yeah, he was so good. Like, when he was, like, 2, I'd be outside washing my car in the front yard, and I would just let him out. And he would just chill in the front yard. He wouldn't run away.
No leash, no nothing.
No, people would drive by, walk by, and he was just completely fine. He would just lay there or go, wander around the yard.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I used to get home from work, and, normally you let your dog out back to go to the restroom when you get home, because it's usually fenced. I would let Thor out front.
Well, there was a reason why we had to let him out front.
Yeah.
Remember?
All the fleas and stuff.
Yes. There were so many fleas in our backyard that we had to let Thor pee and poop out front.
Right. But when I let him out front, like, he would just go use the restroom and then come to the front door and sit and just wait.
Yeah, he'd sit right there at the door. I remember that.
Yeah, like, I would let him out, go get comfortable, change my clothes and everything, grab something to drink, and that'd be, 10, 15 minutes, and he'd just be sitting at the front door.
Yep. You're going super far with the story.
Sorry.
I mean, we didn't even get to the part where he was a baby and he was pooping all the time.
Oh, well, I didn't know we were going to go through all that. I mean, if you want to...
Oh, well, I mean, that was a big part of... Because that was our experience with you, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Thor, when he was a baby, for 4 or 5 months old, he started pooping a lot, like, without...
He didn't have any control.
Yeah, didn't have control of it. And he was pooping all this white stuff out. And I'm like, what is this white spaghetti-looking shit? Apparently, it was worms.
Yeah.
And so, Matt didn't know that, though. And so, Matt locked him in a bathroom.
Well, because we didn't have a cage at the time.
Right.
So we had nowhere to put him, and since he didn't have any control over his bowels, I still had to go work. She had to go work.
Right.
So the best solution I came up with was just to put him in the bathroom because, it was like the laminate
Yeah, and
sheet.
it was small enough for him.
Yeah, linoleum. And so I get home from work after he's had all these issues, right? And I know that I'm probably going to find a mess.
Not like that.
Right. Thor had dug up the linoleum, the sheet of linoleum in the bathroom, dug it up. Everything
you could see the plywood or the wood underneath.
Yeah. The entire sheet was ripped to shreds from him, I think, digging at it, trying to get out. I felt so terrible. But he was covered.
He was covered in poop.
The linoleum was covered.
The walls had shit all over them.
Yeah, and Amanda didn't get home until like 8, 9 o'clock, and so I was on my own. Yeah, it was...
Thank God.
It was rough. So I got to experience that.
And you had to chase him down the street because he got out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know to stay yet because he was still a puppy.
Right.
That was so funny. He was scared of stairs, too. Mm-hmm. If he could see through the stairs, he will not go up. He would not go up them. Yeah. He was terrified of stairs that he could see through.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, I mean, coming full circle, we're kind of freelancing this one. Typically we have some sort of guideline or plot of how we're going to work an episode. This one is more just off the cuff.
Yeah.
I know we were trying to share like our favorite memory of Thor. Do you have one?
I have tons of favorite memories of him.
What do you think?
I guess one of them would be taking him to the beach. That was my favorite memory because I don't think you really took him out. I took him out most, right? So I would take him out to the water, and I would get on my knees in the shallow, and then he'd just plop down and lay there.
He loved the water.
He loved it. He loved it so much that he was drinking it. I would tell him not to drink it, but he kept drinking it. We had fresh water for him. We came prepared with jugs of water, so he had water there. Anyways, so before we left, I took him over to the grass area, and I was like, hey, let's go potty. And he started squatting like he was about to poop, so I looked back at Matt. I was like, babe, can you grab me And then I stopped because I look over, and it was just like diarrhea. Like, it was just water.
But
it was
not diarrhea in the traditional way. It was like the videos where you see the guys dropping Mentos on a Diet Coke bottle.
Yeah, it was like... It was horrible. There was no way I was picking that crap up.
Poor guy. But he had an absolute blast.
But that was the only time that he had that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he wasn't sick or anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just drank too much salt water.
Right.
But he loved it. It was the best. Mm-hmm. What's one of your memories?
I mean, I have so many too. It's tough to nail down.
Well, it's been 9 years. I mean,
that's a long time. But he, I don't know. I think one of the funniest memories I have of him and the cutest moments he had was when we lived at Grandma's house, and I was building that patio out back. I was building a new patio, and I was digging the hole and making the ground all level to put pavers down, and then lay sand and do it like you do. And I had a big pile of dirt that I had dug up because the patio was huge. It was probably like 8 by 15.
Mm-hmm. And it was a nice size.
Yeah, and so when I was digging, I had the pile of dirt behind me, and as I was shoveling, I would shovel and then toss it, and he was over there too, digging, like he was trying to help Dad. It was hilarious. But
like he'd look up and his ear would be flopping up like, oh, okay. See Matt keep digging.
He was so excited.
That was the first time he ever dug, too.
Uh-huh.
He never dug anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, he was definitely the most amazing animal I've ever known before in my life.
Mm-hmm. I took him everywhere. I took him to my dad's house. I took him to my mom's house. Mostly my mom's house.
Yeah.
And he loved it over there playing with the other dogs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the memories there for that one would be I stayed the night with my mom one night with Thor. And he got into the kibble and bits. Okay, we don't feed our dogs that, and you shouldn't either, by the way.
Right.
We feed our dogs, like, the first ingredient has to be, like, chicken or beef or some sort of... Protein. Like, don't feed your dogs kibbles and bits, people, okay? It's disgusting.
Cornmeal.
Also, don't feed them gluten-free. That's horrible for them, too, apparently.
That's what our vet told us.
Yes. Anyways... So he ate some kibbles and bits. He must have ate it when we were all sleeping. Because when I woke up and I went to go to the bathroom at my mom's house, there was poop all up the wall and in her carpet. And then when you go downstairs to go outside, you know, the little stairs she has to go up to her patio, there's poop all up that door. Like he was trying to get out or something, trying to poop. Poor guy. Anyways, I had to clean up all that. It was tough. It was really bad. But anyways. He loved it. He loved pools.
Loki's out, so if you hear any background noise, that's what
it's him. But he loved pools. We would buy him a pool almost every summer or have one for him and fill it up, and he'd go in there and he'd blow bubbles and
he'd run through it and then stop and then sit down and splash around and stand back up and then run and take off again. So
it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So it was about 2 months ago that we found out. So Thor was in the backyard one day, and I had noticed that he had started kind of limp a little bit. And when he came back inside, I looked at his paw, and it was just a little inflammation, just
a little bump.
Yeah, just a little swelling.
I thought maybe Loki had messed with them.
Yeah, so
because they play rough.
Right. So I just assumed. I mean, he's 9. I was like, he's probably playing with Loki, and he sprained it or something, or went some way on it. So
we thought maybe it was a fracture. Because he started limping, like the next few days, he would start limping.
So, it wasn't getting better, which was weird. So I took him to the vet. I was thinking maybe he sprained it, or like Mana said, maybe he has a small fracture or something. He's getting older.
Right.
So I go into the vet's office. I was by myself, and when I bring him in, I was kind of telling her what the symptoms were and stuff, and she looked at it. She's like, "Yeah, this is kind of prominent with Rottweilers. I see this a lot." What I want to do is have an x-ray done, so we'll take a look at it, we know how to proceed. So, they take Thor.
I was at work.
Right. He gets x-rayed, comes back and wait for the results. The vet comes in the office, or into our little room where we're at. She told me, showed me the x-ray on the screen, right? And you could see both paws were x-rayed like this, right next to each other. And she showed me was his left or right paw that was...
His right.
His right. So his left paw, she's like, you can see like the bone density, there's like these thick, solid white lines. And like this almost like honeycomb formation pattern on the inside too. However, in his right paw, it was really thin white lines, and it was almost like cloudy on the inside. It kind of looked like cotton candy or like fluff that you see out of a pillow or a dog's chew toy or something like that. And that kind of helped determine, she's like, so what this is bone cancer. And typically, you know, once the signs are more prominent and you see the limping and the kind of inflammation and stuff, it's probably spread throughout his body. At this point, you know, it's metastasized. She's like, you know, there's a number of different things we can do from here. We can try to pull some of it out, send it out for biopsy. She's like, I wouldn't recommend that because, you know, the bone is already weak and brittle. So I don't want to really mess with it or poke at it or try to pull any of it out. But she's like, given this, plus he had a mass removed last year that we have found out that was just kind of like...
Well, it wasn't even... Well, I mean, it was the same year.
Mm-hmm. But when we had the mass removed, when we did a biopsy on that, she said basically the results were... They couldn't say yes, it was cancer, or no, it wasn't. Right? There was too much crap in there, too much going on.
Right.
But she's like, given that he had the mass removed last year and the mass was actually back in full effect.
Just in both, in two different spots. Like there was a big one and then a little one developing again.
Yeah. So she's like, all this being said, plus my experience, I can tell you with a certainty that it's bone cancer.
Yeah.
So 2 different options. We can go through chemo. She's like, but if I do that, you know, it's extremely aggressive. It's going to maybe give him another year, but he's just going to be extremely uncomfortable through that year. No, Loki.
Come here. Come lay down.
Or we can try to amputate the leg, but then if he's already got bone cancer, I don't want to make him even less mobile, you know, than he already is.
Come here.
She's like, what I would suggest is I'm just going to give you some anti-inflammatory pills and another pain pill as well, just to help keep him comfortable. Because he was still happy, you know, and he was still fairly mobile.
Yeah.
And
he just limped.
Yeah, it was just a little limp. And she told us at that point in time that typically when we find it at this stage in the game, she sees the inflammation, she said 2 to 6 months.
Right.
So it hit me like a fucking wave. Like I went in there thinking my dog had sprained his ankle.
Right.
And left finding out that I've only possibly got a couple more months with him.
Right.
So yeah, it was tough. Basically over the past couple months, you know, I've been grieving because he's like one of my best friends, you know, one of my kids. So, I don't know. It was weird. I mean,
Well, it's probably hard to tell me, too, when you had to call me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get off until, 11, I think? 10 or 11? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to know. I didn't want to wait. Like, there's no way you can have this information and then not tell me. Like...
Yeah. So I was between a rock and a hard spot because I didn't want to wait till... I knew Amanda wanted to find out what was going on with Thor.
Loki, no!
She was going to call me...
cat food.
She was going to call me at some point, you know, to find out.
Lay down.
So yeah, I had to give her the news, unfortunately, while she was at work. So she had to
that was hard.
Yeah.
Because I was still crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As I was trying to work.
Right. So, basically the last couple months, Thor got anything he wanted.
Yep.
We grilled him steak. He got a lot of wet dog food. Bones galore. And thank you to friends, you know, that gave us some stuff too.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for thinking of us and thinking of Thor and bringing that stuff to us. Yeah. It was really thoughtful.
So he, it got progressively worse. Day by day, you would see. I mean, mentally, he was still happy to see us. I would walk it whenever I opened the front door. He had some trouble getting up, but he's still trying to come greet me and still super excited. Still super happy boy.
He'd still run to the back gate or back of the fence and bark and go crazy. Like he was still himself.
Yeah.
It was just his body was not him.
Yeah. So that's kind of what was weird, because we thought that slowly the pain would take over.
Get depressed, stop eating, stop drinking, like not want to do anything.
Right.
But that was not the case.
None of that happened. So one day, like I said, progressively worse each day. He was going up and down the stairs, pretty much okay for the most part, to our bedroom, because he would sleep at the foot of our bed on the floor each night. Yeah. So one night, Amanda was taking him upstairs. Can you explain what happened?
I guess. So I let the dogs out, and Matt had already gone upstairs, and it was the end of the night, so I was like, let's go upstairs. And I noticed something was weird, because I asked you, and I was like, he's just acting weird, like something's wrong. getting emotional. Anyways, and so we told ourselves that we would say, Thor, come on, let's go upstairs. And if he couldn't come upstairs, that
we weren't going to
force him. Like if he wanted to stay down here and he knew that he couldn't go up him, that's what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And so I go upstairs and I'm like, come on, Thor, you can come up. And so he stopped. He didn't come up. And so I was like, come on, Thor. I shouldn't have asked him again, but I said, come on, Thor. And so he starts going up the stairs, and like the third step, he fell, like his back legs like gave out. And so instead of him stopping and staying there, he ran up the stairs still and collapsed at the top of the stairs. And so I started freaking out and yelled for Matt, and then he came out of the bedroom, and he stayed by Thor and was like, tell him it's okay, you don't have to get up right now, like it's cool.
I could tell he was scared.
Yeah, like he was shaking, and so finally Matt got him up, and what happened was he started like limping on his back leg too, and so he was like, instead of walking straight, he was like turning, like he didn't have mobility on all his legs on the right.
Right.
Like his right side was not working.
Right.
And so we finally get him to the bedroom, and he's laying down, and we're trying to
reassure him and calm him down.
Yeah, that he's okay. And so obviously, did we take him outside one more time?
No.
Or we just left him upstairs?
We just left him there for the night. I didn't want him to move anymore. I didn't know how serious it was. And obviously it was late. The only thing we can do, he's tired, we're tired. Let him rest.
Yeah. And
then we'll figure this out the next morning. So fast forward to Tuesday morning. It's same story. He couldn't really stand up at all. I had to help him stand up because I have to get him downstairs so he can use the bathroom. Right?
Yeah.
And so he was kind of using the wall to lean up against with his bad side to walk down the hallway. We ultimately had to get a couple towels to put underneath his torso.
Yeah.
And then he would just kind of lightly act like he was walking, but really we were carrying him downstairs.
He was heavy too. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. Got him downstairs, got him outside, and we said it's time to go potty. We reassured him, hey, you need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
He was able to go potty for the most part by himself, and then we were able to get him back inside. All morning long, I called the vet because essentially, our dog's immobile. I don't know what to do. We've never had to deal with any of this before.
Right.
And, obviously he can't really use the restroom. He can't do anything. So we finally get a call back from the vet. I had to leave several voicemails. Called back from the vet, and she kind of told us what we were thinking already, that it's probably time. She went over a few different options with me again. We could possibly give him better painkillers to make it easier for him. But then,
for what? For him just to lay there still?
Yeah, it's same story. Even if it were to provide him with more mobility, he could just hurt himself more.
Right. He would probably hurt his other legs or something like that. It was. I didn't want that for him. He didn't deserve to. I don't know. Sorry.
So, at that point, we set an appointment for the next day.
Yep.
At 11:30. We went in one more night with him. And so he got steak again, and we just hung out with him all day long, basically, just essentially saying goodbye. And the next
Your mom came over.
Yeah.
Your mom and Jeremy come over and said their goodbyes.
Yeah, and we let people that knew Thor, everybody who knew Thor loved him, loved our dog.
Yeah, he was the best dog ever.
Yeah. So wake up the next day. Thor's still bad off. We have to help him outside with the towels to let him use the restroom and stuff again. And getting him in the car was really tough too.
Well, I had to. He wouldn't get up at all, and so I said, "You want to go for a ride? You want to go bye-bye?" He got straight up and ran to the door.
It's one of his favorite things was going. When you say you want to go bye-bye, he was like fucking excited. Like that was amazing to him.
He loved car rides. Yeah. Even though he whined, if you stopped at a stop sign or went somewhere to grab food or something, he would whine. But once you're going, he was totally fine.
Loved it.
Come on, buddy.
So then we stopped at McDonald's on the way there. We got him a double cheeseburger and some chicken nuggets too.
Yeah.
The vet's office was really cool. They already knew he was coming. They had a room cleared for us. I pulled up. I just went to the front desk. I said, and they knew me as soon as I walked in. They're like, "Thor, you're here for Thor," and I was like, "Yeah." And so the techs came out, helped us get him in. And as soon as he got into the room, he pretty much just laid straight down too. Yeah. Which again for me was just more confirmation. Like he's in so much pain. That's the part that sucks. Is like we were expecting him mentally to check out, but
he never once whined or anything in pain.
No.
Like you would never know that he was in pain ever, even when he had his surgery. Yeah. He never cried. He cried one night because he was stuck in his cage. That was it. Like
I mean, through his whole life. We're not just talking about now. Like,
yeah, he never whined
or complained. Yeah. So we get him into the vet's room. The way we had been told that it was going to happen is we could have as much time as we need.
Which we did.
Yeah. And that when we were ready, they were going to give him a drug that was going to numb all pain. And he was just going to be happy boy.
They said that he was going to see yellow or purple elephants. Yeah.
But, and then after that, once we were ready, they were going to basically give him an overdose of anesthesia. Yeah. And he would just fall asleep. What we thought and how we thought was going to happen.
I'm sorry, he's being really sweet right now.
How we thought it was going to happen and how it actually happened were a little bit different. And that was the main purpose of this episode. So if anybody else goes through this or has to experience this, at some point it's going to happen, right?
Yeah. If you have animals.
Yeah, and dogs are so stoic, especially Thor.
He's looking at the camera.
Yeah, he's showing off.
Staring at himself.
Yep. But,
sorry.
What happened is, we were sitting in the room on the floor with Thor.
We gave him his cheeseburgers and his chicken nuggets.
He loved those. He never had like a full-on McDonald's double cheeseburger before, so he was pretty stoked.
He hates pickles.
Yeah, not a fan of pickles. As soon as we took the pickles off, he was fine.
They came in and shaved his arm. I guess no, because it was his right arm that was messed up. So they shaved his left arm and put the what is that? Not a catheter.
No,
what's it called?
IV.
Yeah. Catheter. They put an IV in his arm, and then they let us have more time with him.
Yeah.
So.
And then she said, as soon as you guys are ready, let me know. Crack the door, and I will come. I said, okay. So, we were telling him he's a good boy, loving on him and stuff.
He was just getting too scared. Like, he knew something was going on. He was panting way too much.
He could feel our fear and everything,
we were crying and stuff.
Yeah, so. We were both a mess. So, I cracked the door. I asked Amanda, I said, are you ready? And she said, yeah. Well, because he was whining and stuff. You could tell, like we were saying, he could feel what we were feeling. So I went to crack the door. The vet comes in.
I cracked the door, so I was next to the door.
You cracked the door. The vet comes in and gives him the happy place drug that's supposed to basically numb all the pain and chill him out. He was panting in himself and everything. Super good. Let the techs and the vet do whatever they needed with him. Didn't whine or whimper or try to pull away. Nope. But they gave him that drug, and then maybe 5-10 seconds went by, and he was panting and stuff. He's like... Yeah. And he just completely...
He didn't look at us. He wasn't looking anywhere. He just, was staring at the ground. Right. It was so weird.
So,
Which sucks because I wish we didn't say we were ready yet. Yeah. I wish we had a little bit more time, but...
So, we were expecting him to still be there mentally.
It was fast.
But he wasn't. It was more like he was kind of having a bad trip, and he was just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
As soon as that...
It was weird.
As soon as the drug took effect, 30 seconds went by, and then she started to give him the anesthesia. And, we were expecting that. We thought we were going to have more time with him, and that he would still be aware of his surroundings.
He would just be high.
Right. Just stoned or whatever.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
It was like he was already gone.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so then she gave him the anesthesia, and he was holding his head up still, and you could see him slowly lowering his head to the floor. And she's like, and then she kept checking him after they gave him the anesthesia. And we were just touching him, rubbing on him, saying, good boy, we love you, blah, blah, blah. And then ultimately, sorry.
I got him.
He just fell asleep. It took about maybe a minute, from the time she gave him the anesthesia to the time he was gone. And, I mean, I don't blame the vet or anything, you know. I'm sure there's a reason that they do him right in a row like that. I'm sure, like, if they got the dog comfortable, well, a lot of people would probably want to hold on to him and hold on to that moment for longer than is necessary and the drug could wear off.
Right.
So, he lowered his head, and then she just kind of whispered, he's gone. And
she told us his eyes would still be open, and they don't close their eyes, so.
And so, we left pretty quickly after that. I'm sure, you know, most people have dealt with death at some point in their life, but with me, I feel a knot in my stomach because I know that I look at it as just a vessel.
Sorry, babe.
I look at his body more as just like a vessel, and his soul was gone. So, yeah, we left pretty quick.
Yeah, it was hard to just see him laying there and then us not being able to take him home.
Right.
I hate this. How many episodes have I cried on? Like, it's so annoying.
But
I blame myself for it. For us having to put him down sooner than expected. Because I shouldn't have told him to come. I shouldn't have told him to come upstairs the second time. I should have just let him be.
It wasn't your fault.
I know.
It was going to happen at some point. We both knew it was going to happen at some point, and
it still feels like I shouldn't have done that, or he probably would have still been here. Everybody keeps asking if Loki knows anything different, and he doesn't act any different.
Right.
It's like Thor was never even here. It's weird. Yeah. But I think it was because Loki just turned 1 on February, or the 14th. Mm-hmm. And we got him at 6 weeks old. And Thor was he had just had his surgery, or was going to have his surgery. So he was already slowly going, and we didn't know that. Right. And so a lot of times we had to tell Loki to leave Thor alone. Like, they had to be separated because Loki just wanted to play and go crazy, as a puppy would. Right. And we just couldn't have that with Thor, so I think maybe in Loki's mind he wasn't there. Loki blocked him out because he couldn't play with him. I don't know. It's weird. Loki knows nothing.
Right. So it's just been like anything else. I mean, we had an episode early on loss, right? And so we've just been kind of dealing with it in our own way. And we know it's not something you get over. Time doesn't heal it. It's just something that you learn to live with.
Yep. So, Loki has helped us, I think. Yeah. Having somebody to still care for.
Right.
But it's been hard. It's been a rough few weeks.
So, I'll pick up his cremations tomorrow. I was trying to get there Friday because they were there Friday. Actually, just took a week.
Good boy.
I didn't have enough time. I ran out of time to get there. They were already closed by the time I was going to get there. So, tomorrow I'm going to pick him up. They offer to have his paw print and printed too, to have like this little porcelain
why don't you go get it and show him?
Oh, it's not. I don't want to go.
Okay.
No. But we had already done an impression ourselves. We actually did a little DNA panel on him too to find out what he actually was.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, he's actually 25% Chow.
There is no lab in him. There is no Irish setter. Mm-hmm. There is no Newfie. Mm-hmm. It's Chow, Rottweiler. Mm-hmm. There was a few other ones too, but Chow and Rottweiler were the big ones.
Were the more prominent ones. It was 25% Chow, like 15% Rott, and then the rest was just like cattle and herding breed, so mutt.
So weird.
Yeah, so he was treated.
he had the Chow tongue because he had a purple tongue, but yeah, it's so weird to. I'm glad we did that because it's so weird to know that that's not what he was.
Right.
We don't know who he was.
Right. But. So yeah, that's our episode, guys. It was kind of a tough one for us, but we thought it was important to share. And I know most of you guys are linked up to our social media and stuff, and so you know what's going on in our lives most of the time.
Right.
And just thought it'd be a good one to discuss, and that way, those of you out there, if you have to deal with the same thing at some point, you know what to expect. It was inexpensive too. I don't know if that's something anybody worries about, but between the anesthesia,
does it depend on how much they weigh though, or no?
It might. Thor was 95 pounds.
He was a big boy.
He was 95 pounds. So for the cremation, the
anesthesia,
putting him down, everything was all $190. So, I looked it up too, and that's about average. Most places charge between $100 to $500. So if it's a concern for you guys, it's not that bad. So.
Yep. And we go to Companion out here in Fort Walton Beach,
and they've
Florida.
been amazing for us too. So anybody that's local in the area, Companion.
Check out Jessie. Jessie's her name, right?
Dr. Jessie.
Dr. Jessie. She's pretty good.
She's been doing it for a long time. I have a lot of respect for that woman. So.
Yeah. But we miss Thor every day. We talk about him. Mm-hmm. I tell Loki every time I love on him, I'm like, I miss your brother.
Yeah. Got big paws to fill.
And it's quiet. It's really quiet around here. Mm-hmm. Like, because if you knew Thor, all he would do is...
He had such a thick coat.
It was so loud.
Yeah.
Like, I could hear him from upstairs. Mm-hmm. He was so loud. So it's been really quiet.
It's just hard to get used to the new.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new chapter in our life. We don't have Thor, I was saying to myself the other day that it's weird that the last photo I have of Thor will be the last photo I ever have of him, that I ever take.
Right.
So, make sure you take pictures, guys.
Yep.
Always. I have to get on to this guy, because he never takes pictures, and I'm like, if they're memories, you have to take them. Like, right. That's all you have after they're gone.
I think that's the main takeaway from all this is to cherish the time you have with
even
who you
when
have.
they're assholes.
I mean, we even knew it was coming, and it was still a shock. It's still a surprise.
Yeah,
so.
It was still really hard.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we'll wrap it up here, unless you had something else to add. No.
No, other than more funny stories of Thor. I mean,
right.
There's tons of them.
Well, anyways, hope you guys got something from this. I hope we helped some of you.
I'm tired of crying.
Right. But we'll be on next week, too. It'll be more of a fun episode, less deep, and then we'll probably...
I think the next episode, I think I already know what we're going to do, right?
Yes, we do. It's going to be a funny one. So make sure you check out next week. In the meantime, like it, or click it.
Click it.
Like it.
Share it. Have a good night, guys.
See you later.
Have a great week.